Okay, before we get into the episode, I just want to say, if I've sounded off these past few videos, I've just been dealing with some personal stuff. I probably shouldn't have made those previous two videos until I felt better because, honestly, I sounded kind of off in those videos and I was kind of needlessly aggressive at times. So, just want to say, I'm sorry, I'm over it now, and I think I'll be back to normal. So, let's get into today's video. Hello everyone and welcome back to Monsters of the Mind. As always, I'm your host Mr.G. We're here on the surface of Mars to talk about a group of aliens. And speaking of which, I actually have one with me right now. Why don't you introduce yourself there? Greetings, planetary neighbors. My name is impronounceable by the human tongue, but you can call me Alan. Original, I know. Alan here is an example of one of the most popular types of aliens, and they are colloquially known as the Greys. Grey alien is obviously a reference to their grey skin. They are a species. I honestly didn't know what to consider them, so I'm just going to play it safe and call them neutral. They've been spotted all over the world, and they're an extraterrestrial. The Greys are always described as looking humanoid, but with grey skin, black eyes, and no ears. So, where did the idea of aliens looking like grey humanoids come from? Well, one of the earliest depictions of a grey alien comes from the book Meta, A Tale of the Future, which features aliens that are almost a dead ringer for the Greys, as they're described as having bulbous heads, black eyes, and greyish skin. Later on, in 1947, there is an event in the town of Roswell, New Mexico, where allegedly a spaceship ended up crashing right into the town. Now, this event made it all over the papers, and it was claimed as evidence of UFOs. However, later on, the story was changed that it was actually an experimental weather balloon that crashed down. However, many people like to call cover-up on this story, and most people are still persistent that this event is irrefutable proof of alien life forms visiting our planet. In the 1980s, the idea of the Greys really started to take off as a lot of people started saying that the aliens from Roswell were gray-skinned humanoids with black eyes and huge heads. The idea of the Greys ended up becoming so popular that they completely blew away the previous popular depiction of aliens being small green humanoids, and it's easy to see why since the LGMs are a bit too cute to be taken seriously, but the Greys fall perfectly into the uncanny valley, which is a phenomenon where the more humanoid something looks, the more creepy it is when something doesn't look natural on it. Oh please, those green guys, how did humans even find out about them? Anyway, one thing to note about gray aliens, or really humanoid aliens in general, is that scientists actually doubt the existence of them. As many scientists have pointed out, humanoid aliens are clearly the result of a human bias, where they pretty much think that because humans are the dominant species of Earth, then that must mean that every planet's main inhabitant would be humanoid. Not to mention, humanoid aliens make little sense from an evolutionary standpoint, as the reason we look like how we do is because we evolved from creatures that climb trees and had opposable thumbs for grabbing things. However, an alien would have had to evolve under completely different conditions and circumstances, making the odds they would look like us very close to zero. If that's true, then how am I here? I don't get it. I guess I'm a scientific improbability then. Now here's Vincent. Of all the alien races I met, I think I like the Greys the best. They're not warmongers like the reptilians or complete anomalies like the space gremlins. The Greys are a pretty peaceful species of alien. I've even had dinner with their king before. It was not very good and ended up with intense nausea because I couldn't digest anything they served me, but hey, at least I ate it all. Although I did notice that my spit was purple for like a week after I ate all that food. That's probably not normal, though. But yeah, I like the Greys. You know, instead of me reviewing the card, I'll have Alan here review it. Sound good, Alan? Sounds perfect. Let's get into it.
Sheesh, why is this guy so angry? And why is he pointing at me? What did I do to you? Wait a minute, I know that guy. That's Chester! He was my best friend during high school. But then one day we sent him to Earth and then he never got seen again. Look, that's Chester. He even has the dimple in his stomach. How did they get his picture?
Dude, that's a drawing.
No. I swear, that's Chester. That's like a caricature of him or something. How did they get him? Get back to the point. Okay, fine. Anyway, this card completely neglects the fact that the idea of gray aliens originated from a book, and instead it claims that they were just the result of a bunch of sightings. However, as Mr. G pointed out earlier, the idea of gray aliens came about from a book that described aliens that way, and there's no evidence beforehand that grays were a thing before that book was written. And, geez, probing. You stick a camera up someone's poop chute one time and all of a sudden that's all anyone ever does. And the abduction thing is wildly overblown. We've only abducted like 7 people. Each time it was for a different reason. The first time we actually did do the poop chute probe, but the other times we were just trying to communicate with them, but for some reason they kept screaming the whole time, so we just abandoned them. It also claims that sometimes we steal human tissue to keep alive. Why would we need to do that? How would that even work? I don't get it. I give this card a 1 out of 10. For spreading that stupid myth that we like to stick cameras up poop chutes. I give this card about a 9 out of 10 because besides messing up its origin, it's actually pretty good. And Alan, why do you get so offended about the poop chute thing? Look, the only reason we did that was because we wanted to know what that brown stuff that came out of humans was. So we stuck a camera up there to see what would happen. What happens to your guys' food when you eat it? Oh, the remains of it secrete from our eyes in a green substance that we then toss on the ground as fertilizer. Gross. Now let's look at some appearances of greys in pop culture. Now keep in mind, greys are probably the most common depiction of aliens in pop culture, except in British media for some reason. In that kind of media, I've noticed that aliens are literally just people. I don't know why, that just seems to be the case. So keep in mind that greys have been in so many things that it's not very possible to list them all. Greys have been in the X-Files, South Park, American Dad. There's a Pokemon that's kind of a fusion of the greys and the little green men idea. In 1995, there's a film supposedly released showing unreleased footage of a Roswell alien autopsy, but then in 2006 it turned out to be a complete hoax. Then again, people were suspecting it was a hoax for a while, but it was officially confirmed in 2006. Well, I could look for more gray appearances, but honestly, I'm feeling kind of lazy right now, so I'm just gonna go return to Earth, and Vincent and this guy are gonna go return to the land of myth. So, that's all for this episode of Monsters of the Mind. Join us next time when we talk about a monster that you have no need to fear. Bye! Wait. Something is wrong. Something's wrong. Meanwhile, yeah, look at you. You're such a beauty. Why did Vincent ever want me to get rid of you? I mean, you're just a gym. How dangerous could you be? Vincent is just overreacting.